we were running around like in German it's like Bauchladen. Yeah, you had all the magazines. You were like, when you wanted to go prone, you were like I don't know, 15 centimeters away from the floor because of all your equipment, and plus I don't know, shotgun and stuff like that. And this was the time where we felt we were too heavy because the others were faster than we are. Hi friends, and welcome to another part of Warrior Talk. Today we're going to talk about tactical gear versus tactical requirements in real life missions. And this together with Mark. Hi.
Hi.
Once again with me. What would you say is the way tactical gear has developed over time with regards to the Afghan conflict? Because this is what we can talk about. So we have both been to Afghanistan for quite a time. And just as an intro, when you nowadays search the internet for, I don't know, you Google 𝗖cie his𝘁𝘲, you find a ton of pictures, with the lads there with good gear, like up-to-date gear. So you really get the impression, okay, they're at the tip when it comes to professional equipment they can use on missions. But that was not the case when we started there. So I can remember like in 2007 when we got equipped, so you had the feeling, yes, you made it like right after selection, so I'm now part of the family. Where is the truck with my gear, and at the end of the day, it turned out, here's your 18 kilos Bristol vest, and then above this you have to have, I don't know, some crappy tactical vest where you had to put your magazines in. And I can remember having to use the paratrooper helmet, the anti-shrapnel helmet, and the pelto underneath. So like after half an hour, you suddenly had a headache and literally couldn't continue. So what's your impression on, like, from what I said, the Bristol example up to nowadays equipment? What would you say, like a rough timeline, how it developed then, from what you have experienced?
So in my experience, we started with crap material equipment that was more or less set up for a line infantry, with some, let me say, special gadgets that the 𝗖cie his𝘁𝘁𝘲 was able from their own pocket to buy. A little bit more fancy vest, a chest rig that nobody had in that times, right?
Duct tape and cable binders, not to forget, right?
Exactly, duct tape and cable binders, yeah. That was a huge part of how I set up my equipment for the mission. And it was more or less a little bit on your own. How to prepare not so really good equipment to something that works for you. And then, we saw it on this Afghanistan mission over the 20 years.
20 years, right?
20 years. And it began at the beginning with more or less special reconnaissance, with information, gaining information in the field. The soldiers were very lightweight, more or less really special reconnaissance equipment, a chest rig, and that's it. A little bit water,
smog, exactly, and these days, smog was very popular, right?
I mean, the special forces, military special forces, comes out of this part, right? The special reconnaissance guys, then it moves on, where the point comes up, okay, our soldiers also have to be ballistic secured. And we recognized very, very quick that it is okay to secure paxes, so persons that only be like a good to get transport from A to B.
Like on a bus.
But
bus
when
situation.
when you have to work, and you have your movements, and you have to have a daylight walk in by 50 degrees plus, and you have this night shell around you, you can count the meters in altitude, how quick the first guys close to get collapse, right?
Exactly.
With 50 degrees plus on daylight and the mountains. So the altitude profile over there, it was not possible. Even not when you go on a shooting mission that you have to move properly. And then
tactical movement.
It was exactly. Go down on the ground, have a very small silhouette, and things like that. Yeah, maybe it could work, but nobody do it because it's too heavy. It's too heavy. And
then, once you go prone, you
exactly when you lay down, you stay there. Exactly. And then I think it comes up like usual from the US side that they was running around with the plate carriers.
There was something new. There was fancy so plate carrier. Wow.
Exactly.
Okay. Because that's also like the development when you was talking about, or you were talking about ballistic protection in those days. Now we're talking 10, 15 years back, was something you had a protective vest in mind rather than a plate carrier, because these days, at least to my knowledge, plate carrier, it was a rather new invention. I can be wrong, but that's I didn't know it. Let's put it this way. Okay.
It was not common in the military
exactly.
in Europe.
Protective vests.
Nobody
that was it.
Was carrying this.
And at the end of the day, like I think we can firmly say for us was the plate carrier itself is a kind of a game changer, or has been in the past, right? Because then, as you said, from a Bristol vest that was not able to contain gear, it was just it was the shell or the hull for the ballistic protection, and then you had to wear something on top, like I don't know, a gear vest or something like this. So that was kind of humble. Not very comfortable. And then the plate carrier was a different scenario. So you were suddenly able to move with also a decent level of protection, right?
Yeah. And I think this was really a game changer, that the soldiers started to accept the ballistic plates.
Yeah. Before that, it was a nightmare.
It was a nightmare, and nobody want to have this, let me say, this level of protection. And I can see it today also when I have some clients and I talk with them. What is your need? What is the need on your equipment? What should we develop for you? There is always the political pressure. We have to have a high square centimeters or what in a ballistic secured area,
body surface, right?
Body surface, and the operators think, but I can't move then anymore any longer. I have so much problems with my overload with the helicopter. I have to make 2 rounds because not all soldiers in one time
payload is a topic
can go on a helicopter. We have issues with upsiling to go in small windows, and then so there I see that the people they want to be protected in their main or in the very quick kill zone. And that's it. That's it for these guys. And to be honest, when you see, more protection, there's a counter movement. I use more and more shrapnels, for example, or I use a higher caliber, for example.
That's the old fight between protection and a bullet or a projectile. All right, so
exactly.
I'm fully with you that and you have to mention, and that's also something that I don't know if this is very common with decision makers. Let's put it this way: ballistic protection is one sort or one type of protection to yourself, but speed as such can also be protective for you.
Is absolutely
in terms of you are like and that's also common sense. But as I said, my opinion is, or in my mind, it's not common to everyone. Ballistic protection to some extent catches a bullet, but as you said, the higher the caliber, the more armor piercing the bullet is designed, the more problems you have with your ballistic protection, because this ends somewhere, because I don't know, if I'm not able to penetrate with a 308, I get the Dragunov, fine, maybe. Okay, then I raise my ballistic class, right? To some extent, I end up with NIJ 10, maybe, yeah. And then the plate is like this, and I think close to, I don't know, 3 kilos or something. And how much more can you take?
Exactly.
How much? And then you have the Bristol situation again.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So, but when you to some extent have a very good assessment of the enemy threat or the opponent threat situation. So how likely is it to get shot with by a Dragunov instead of being shot with a normal AK-47, where, for instance, a VPAM-6 might be appropriate. Yeah? And then with a VPAM-6, you end up with a plate heavy, I don't know, 900 grams, or what is the decent one?
Under 1 kilo.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you are able to maybe to maneuver better in situations and not standing there like a rock getting shot at, but rather, as you said, duck down, take cover, move around, do quick tactical movements.
Yeah, and this, I think this is a very wide field where you can discuss about, and you need the discussions, especially in the police area where you have not that mobility while you're working, where you have maybe one shooter in a flat somewhere in a high building, and he stays there, and so
London City, flats,
London City, whatever, Berlin, and I see the point, and for that we have equipment, the MUST system, for example, where a police officer at the front line can take as much ballistic plates in front of himself as possible without losing his flexibility and
in movement, because
movement.
This is critical.
Exactly, this is critical.
Movement is critical.
Movement is absolutely critical, and you can't work. This is your order, right? You have to work. And when you want to be safe, stay outside in the Panzerwagen. There you are safe. But this is not
until the RPG.
Until the RPG is coming, exactly, and then it rises up and up. So, in my opinion, it is. But maybe this is a military mindset that to be quick is the best protection that you can have, because you hold the activity.
Exactly.
You are the person. This is.
You don't react to something.
You don't react. You're the actor. And as an actor, it's the best protection. Otherwise, you are protected against a Dragunov up to here, and only 10 or 15 centimeter higher, there's your
no protection. No protection. Your plain face,
exactly,
so you can't put a plate there.
And this is always something where you have, of course, to develop around these issues, or this fact that there's a need of and a must for a minimum ballistic protection. But as a knight, silver shining somewhere in the middle of the night, we don't need this. And
no,
the
not anymore.
special forces don't need that.
There was a time for like fully protected knights, but then they didn't have an AK those days. But they were also there's a reason why the Pope forbid the crossbow. The crossbow with the not with the bow and arrow, but the crossbow with the short and thick arrows, because they were able to penetrate the plate harnesses of the knights, and so the Pope was like, oh no, that's unfair now. That's unfair. Exactly. You're not allowed to use a crossbow anymore. The opponents, they didn't care about the Pope. That was it. They didn't care, and they were using the crossbow against the knights. So, and we want to avoid that. And as I said, there has been a time for the knights, and now the time is over. And we're looking at flexibility and the ability to have a minimum level of ballistic protection, but be able to maneuver at all times. And would you say, like during your operations and your time in Afghanistan, that things changed, so that that we were also following when our equipment, of course, got better. When we were following like the tactical needs in the various situations we came across. So you mentioned special reconnaissance, of course. It's there's a chest rig is made for special reconnaissance, of course. So, okay, and then we had these operations like limited airframe across Afghanistan. We were forced to do a lot in vehicle-borne operations.
Yeah.
And what feeling did you have those days? So how were people equipped? How were operators equipped during these operations?
Yeah, I mean, in our times there was the change of equipment. So we had through the special forces we had get much better equipment. Let me say it was the latest shit in that time. Yeah, and then all the SOPs was changing, and of course also the support units get better. So there was a let me say a helicopter SOF unit specially for the Afghanistan thing. So they had more ride hours on the helicopter, I saw that they get more lighter. They don't have double magazines on their plate carriers or harness whatever. Because they have a mothership and they have this mission support to say, okay, when it takes longer, unplanned, there is somebody who can support me, refill, and. So I saw that that there was a change from the loadout, what I take with me. So also the requirements on the pouches for magazines, for example, reduced to the minimum what I really need.
Yeah.
It was not, okay, I have to stay there 2 weeks outside in stormy weather, rainy weather, this. So
the pouch must be eatable to some extent.
Yeah, eatable, exactly. Eatable without poisoning yourself, exactly. Yeah, so it got more and more. The equipment followed more and more on a mission spot.
Exactly.
Okay,
like the requirements.
The requirements of the mission, and so there was a change of the behavior of the soldiers to say, okay, for that mission, I have this equipment and this SOP, I want to work in that and that way.
Yeah.
So I prepare my equipment to the mission I have.
Exactly. And before that, you didn't have the issue.
Exactly. Because you had only one part, one box of equipment, and you have to do all the jobs with the same equipment.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And then there was a little bit more, okay, this is for your DA, this is maybe for a special reconnaissance, this is when you go
weapon
out
system, different weapon system here, there.
Exactly. And then all the different carriers and pouches for magazines and grenades and. So it get much wider in the equipment that you use, what you have to use, so you work with. And the other part is only make you possible to work. Yeah. It is nothing else, right? And this was what I recognized back in the time. And to now, it is a little bit, it is much higher developed. The laminats are different from only Cordura back in the time. The special developed part is much bigger, right? To say, I have a product and it is specially made only to use for this special operation or whatever
purpose.
Right?
Yeah,
purpose.
I don't know, a piece of equipment that needs to fit in. So I share the same view. I feel like maybe around 2010, that was the time we started getting light in Afghanistan. So putting more focus on our weight in terms of we as Westerners. I don't know how heavy you are. Let's put it 100 kilos. I have like 85 or something like that. And then you had the Afghan guys, and just by a look at them, you were like, okay, this is like 40 kilo or 45. I don't know, just as an example. And then because we were so annoyed of getting outrun by these guys. They had their flip-flops, the dress they would wear, then a chest rig, 3-4 magazines, the turban, the bandana around the head, and then their AK. And of course they were pretty fast. I would love to have these flip-flops back in school, for 100-meter sprints. No, I'm just kidding. But and we were standing there, like, I don't know, heavy vest. We had plate carriers already, but guys would then have, I don't know, the side plate protection, to be protected. Then, as you said, the double magazine pouches. Every one of us would carry around 10 magazines. I mean, at the end of the day, when you look at operations, we did 11 and past 11. How many magazines did you carry on your plate carrier?
3 and 1 in the weapon.
So I was the maximum safety guy. I had 4 on the plate carrier. I had 4 on the plate carrier and 1 in the rifle, and the rest, of course, in a small assault backpack. Let's put it this way. And in the old days we had, like, I don't know, 10 magazines each. I don't know, 2 fragmentation grenades, and I don't know, smoke. 2 of them. Also we were running around like in German it's like Bauchladen. You had all the magazines. You were like, when you wanted to go prone, you were like I don't know, 15 centimeters away from the floor because of all your equipment, and plus I don't know, shotgun and stuff like that. And this was the time where we felt we were too heavy because the others were faster than we are, and then it turned out, and as you said, so I have the same feeling. The better the logistical service was, the lighter we would be able to be on operations. And just I don't know, you stand or you be at an objective doing some type of operations. You run out of ammo. It was 100% sure that good old Black Hawk would arrive, I don't know, 10 minutes later, and somebody would throw out a pellet out of the side door full of loaded magazines. No problem. So we didn't run into a situation like that, but the option was there, The option was and we were never Winchester on an objective, like literally fired every single round. We didn't have that situation, but it was a good solid feeling in the back that good old Black Hawk would arrive there in case needed, and that was the reason we went light. And now there's a question: what was first, the chicken or the egg? Because of the terrain and the weather conditions, especially in Afghanistan, everybody recognized really quick, not only, hey, this lightweight guy is much faster than I am. He can also survive much longer in the mountains under this weather conditions like we are. Because we talked about in the last series here with sports and your physical fitness or condition. And this is also one point where you say even the fittest guys reach the point where you break down because you are dehydrated, you can't carry all the water, and so on. And then the question is, and this is out of my experience, out of my level of point of view, the guy said, okay, we can't work in this environment so heavy for a long time, or is the support situation was quicker than the soldiers' meaning? I don't know exactly what was first, but it doesn't care. There was the change to get out light, and there is pros and cons, of course. Right, because you have also the cons that that it gets in a little bit sports direction where you say, okay, I have to be as quick as possible. And then the shit show starts. That the people start, okay, here in the training area, I train with a lighter weapon, with a different trigger, I cut away this and that, and a secure
bandle I don't need anymore because I'm a half second slower.
Yeah.
But in reality, you need that.
Exactly.
You can't go like a sportsman right? Okay, I go now for my competition, and after that I have a massage, and I get a refill of nutrients, and then no.
And a milkshake.
And a milkshake.
So, like you guys might have heard that there's a quiet and hidden bullshitting between snipers and assaulters. Yeah, just and since I've been a sniper and Mark has been an assaulter, that there's a reason for we as snipers we know why you cut off things as assaulters, because we were always bullshitting that you guys think a direct action is more like an 𝗖cie shooting. Yeah. You know, we always thought so. Okay, dear assaulters, okay, you can go on a direct action, and like 1 second after entering the door, the second magazine is shot, and you have to perform a reload in like I don't know, split second. And but that's to some extent bullshitting over now. To some extent, lightweight or reducing tactically necessary security on your equipment is bullshit. You know, so there must be a maximum of security in terms of I don't know, having a loose magazine in one of the pouches. It just you bend over somewhere, you fall to the ground because I don't know. You hit a rock, you lie on the ground, and then you lose, I don't know, half of your magazines because you were thinking, okay, I'm so fucking fast when I do remove all the covers and retention straps and whatever, and then magazines fall. So there's 1-0 in that moment. So to some extent, you need to take care of that. That you have to be able to operate. Yeah. And we also had so I'm sharing now a nice sniper experience also where we have been the number ones. My folks in 2011, they decided snipers don't need helmets on operations. And I'm like, I was very like fresh as a platoon commander, and I'm like, that's interesting. Why? So does the shrapnel only hunt the assaulters and not the snipers, or what? So if there's a frag exploding or you get a rock hitting your head, what are you going to do? Yeah, no, you know, it's better, so we go prone and stuff like that. And you know what saved my ass? During a training in our compound, one of the guys, I'm not mentioning the name now, he was falling off a ladder. We were performing a ladder drill, like to overcome like these high walls in Afghanistan. And he fell off the ladder, and he banged his head quite hard on the, I think it was a stone or a ladder. And from that very moment on, everyone will wear helmets. It's so
exactly.
easy. Exactly. It can be so easy.
It can be so easy, Yeah, learning by pain.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what I mean with sticking to security helps. And of course, direct action or any conflict is not an 𝗖cie match, you know. And and this is reality. And you need to be able, together with your gear, to perform perfectly, you know, and not I don't know, optimizing your gear in a way that it
that
just
you fall to pieces
endangers.
only when somebody hit you on the chest, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and this is as well one of our main focus to see. Okay, the equipment you have to carry with you because it's necessary. Not in each case, but when the shit hits the fan, you need plan B, plan C, so the contingencies, and you have to have the equipment for that as well with you. Otherwise, the plan is fantastic on the paper, but when you need it, it doesn't work because you don't have the equipment for that. Our focus is on develop the equipment in that way that it not work against you.
Exactly.
That is one of the most important points. Not even that you have this comfortable thing. Okay, I feel no pressure point, and then this is only the second look, right? But the first look is that you have, for example, in a MUS system, an open shoulder, a free shoulder. Yeah, it's a ballistic hole when you come to security, but you need your rifle stock in your shoulder to give a controlled shooting.
Can you remember?
And when it's blocked,
Then you can you remember that there was at some point of time in German army, they would put the buttstock of the rifle in the middle of the chest. And then they were bending over like almost 90 degrees, and I was watching them. What are you guys doing there? Yeah, it's brilliant, with the G36, it rocks like hell. And I'm like, if you think that's the right way to shoot, then please go ahead. Yeah. But don't mind if I will not follow your suggestions.
Things like that,
the correct term is shoulder weld, where your buttstock should sit in the shoulder, and it doesn't say chest weld, and there's a reason for it,
Exactly.
And there's some, I don't know, I have seen also vests, with the where you have these shoulder parts, where they're like there's a device that helps you to put the buttstock there, and I'm like, so this should be natural. It should like fit in like a magnet, just every time the same spot, and you are absolutely right. This needs to be free.
Exactly.
Cannot be blocked.
Not even with a soft ballistic. Not even with a soft ballistic.
Exactly.
And then it comes to the point where the dream says, okay, the equipment follows the tactics. And in reality, there's, a
balance.
It is a balance. It is tax money that all the guys have there for the equipment, and they can't buy and shouldn't buy every year the newest fancy stuff to be a bit more comfortable or think it is much better. In the end, you have to have a setup, and then you have to train with it. Because the best equipment don't do the job for you. In the baddest way, in the worst case, it works against you while you are trying to do your job. In the best way, it supports you in the best way. But 10 kilos are 10 kilos. You have to carry them.
That's,
and when it's too heavy, it gets stronger.
Exactly.
Okay.
And no, we don't make 5 kilos out of it. And even if you pay double the price, to some extent, we have our limits. I don't know, the VPAM 6 plate, the light one, 900 grams, don't pin me down on this. At the end of the day, it won't be 500 in the next 5 years, right? So most likely not. So it is like it is. And as you once told the police guys, when they were complaining, it's rubbing here, rubbing there, and you were telling them, that's why you did selection for, dudes. And it's not a pussy game. So please stick with it. That's your equipment, and now get out and move.
And when you change all the time your equipment, you will never come to the point where you say, okay, now I know how to use it. And I'm common with all my positions and an end, because you change too quick.
Exactly, you cannot adopt to that, and you cannot change.
And you need your 1,000 repetitions to have the muscle memory. Okay, exactly. That is the way for my magazine or whatever, for my pistol.
Exactly.
And when you change it all the time, and you think, okay, my equipment make the better warrior of me, no.
It helps, but
it helps. It helps. It helps.
But at the end of the day, you have to use it during training. Use the same setup during operations. If you like playing around with your tactical gear, please buy a second set. Do it at home, at the couch, sitting there and fumbling around and where poops. But for your duty gear, leave it as it is. Once you have your setup, and don't play around. Today I have the pouch here, but tomorrow it might be better here. You can do it, I don't know, the first 2 weeks, and then you should find the sweet spot where everything is in place, and then it is like it is. So
and you have all the time, you have the possibility to make small changes. So nobody, not in a special unit, should say or give you the order where your magazine pouch has to be.
That needs to be your decision.
This had to be your decision, but you have to find your setup. When you don't find your setup, even only with a backpack, without any pouches, I can do the job. But I have to train a little bit more, and I have to make 5 hand grips more. But then I have to train double time.
Exactly.
Because it is not perfect.
Right.
I have to adapt to that, but I can do the job. To say I can't do the job because my pouch is not exactly, and I'm a half second quicker with this one or that one. Hey, come on.
Yeah.
This is no IPSC shooting. This is military real life or police real life, and there's always space to say, okay, for that special action here, I need a very high ballistic surface, but only maybe the first two men, because
Exactly,
the rest. The first two men, they are shield, they stop it.
Yeah.
So why should everybody in the line, 10 police guys, SWAT guys,
and everyone has a shield.
and everybody has a shield, and this and it doesn't
and
make
a ram,
sense.
and a ram, in case something goes wrong, you know.
Exactly.
Oh, the first one, he lost his ram. We need the 10th.
Yeah, and then there's the decision. Okay, should I have a shield or should I bundle everything on my body? But this is we can give options, and then the personnel with eyes on target can make the decision. Okay, here that makes sense or that makes sense.
Exactly.
It is so individual on each operation, from operation to operation, and the setup, the support situation around you. You have to think each operation in a new way. And when
exactly,
and when you have a modular equipment that supports you exactly for this high changes, the high changes of each operation, it could make sense. So this is our direction. We walk down to say, okay, we want to be very modular, to buy once, to be familiar with my equipment, and to set up a different, for example, a higher ballistic protection when I need it.
Yeah, with the ballistic protection level, I'm buying that. So, for instance, you were saying, okay, so you were kind of adapting the loadout, your setup at your plate carrier or your belt from mission to mission. So, I didn't do that once during 2 missions in Afghanistan. I never changed anything. Never.
Yeah,
so I've been, I don't know, it took me 1 or 2 weeks until I did something completely crazy. I was wearing a plate carrier and I had a chest rig on top. But the reason why was I could open the chest rig and go prone very flat, you know, and not being blocked by magazines or being lifted from the ground too much. And
you was able to throw it away when you don't need it, and your magazines are free. You can use it in a second way.
Without the ballistic protection
without the plate carrier, right?
Exactly.
And this is something, what I mean with, it could make sense to be flexible. And for example, when you have the smaller units for military, I don't see it as well. I never did it. I never changed my personal setup. But I was always with the same short weapon, with the same gun, with the same rifle, and so on. So when you, for example, look to Switzerland, they have a completely different canton police set up, and the regular police guy is in the second role a SWAT police guy.
Okay.
And then they have not only a different vest for both jobs, as well. He is maybe, because they are so small in the canton, today he is a medic and tomorrow he is the breacher, for example. And then you need to modify your things in the way you are able to, what your equipment is allowing you. For example, have a plate carrier and then work with a chest rig, for example, a micro rig or something like this.
Helps,
right?
If it helps, because then you have to reduce complexity. When you have to play many roles and wear many hats, you have to reduce the complexity. You know, keep as much aligned and same as always, and just add the rest and make sure you can handle the rest in a way, and you know where it is. At the end of the day, it's literally just knowing where your equipment is in a split second in a very dangerous situations. In a nutshell, it is like it is. If I make that move, I have to know, okay, I'm grabbing a rifle magazine now and not a fragmentation grenade.
Genau.
Yeah, because that hardly fits into into the assault
it
rifle.
gives you,
know?
it gives you, it gives you a fuck up in a situation where everything normally is fluent without thinking.
Yeah,
And when
exactly.
you have a mistake like that, you stop because you start thinking.
You're puzzled. Yeah, genau.
You're
Yeah,
puzzled.
Don't think.
What is wrong here?
Yeah.
And then maybe you're dead already.
Yeah, maybe.
Right?
Yeah,
maybe.
Can be.
So can be. Yeah.
If politicians accept that or not, war can be dangerous.
War can be dangerous.
Okay. So, what have we learned today? Be modular is the way to go, at least for us, I think.
Yeah.
And this is very well backed up by our experience in real life situations. And train with your equipment and keep as much constant as you can.
Yeah. And don't overvalue ballistic plate security. You are not in a God mode after that, only because you have some bulletproofed parts at your body. When somebody shoot your foot, for example, then you can't work any longer, and so he reaches aim, right? That you don't disturb him in the things he want to do, right?
Exactly.
And that's the point, yeah. To reduce ballistic coverage for speed, for example, for gaining speed, and to be comfortable with your equipment, be in the balance to handle it, and not be the
bulky guy,
bulky guy. Without any movements and flexibility. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, folks. Thanks for listening and watching. Stay tuned for the next video. Take care and bye bye.